A quick update and a reminder that it doesn't matter where you live, that doesn't automatically make you safe. And we're seeing that happening right now in places like Colorado, where the Tren de Aragua gang from Venezuela is taking over apartment complexes and creating just chaos in the streets over there right now.
The Venezuelans is taking over. They just jacked them? Oh, me. These is out here tripping. Bro, damn, they done made a mess of shit.
Nigga, y'all are on bullshit out here. That is on bullshit.
Oh, shit. What the f? Yeah, they're tripping. They cracking off in the air and everything. They driving over the... We almost just got hit. Bro, these niggas is on bullshit. I'm trying to record, but I gotta watch the...
And it's only going to escalate and get worse from there. And this is a microcosm example of the third world being imported into our country for the purpose of destabilization. And it's happening there as a warning to wherever you are right now that it could happen to you as well. This is something that you should be paying attention to because these people are extremely violent, well organized, well funded, and know exactly what they're going to do, and they're doing it right now there.
It's unreal. It's unreal. Residents tell me they feel like they are living in a third world country at this point. They are going block by block. They are going apartment complex by apartment complex. They are taking it over. I think the city doesn't really know how to handle it.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you need to start mentally preparing yourself and building out strategies and working with a community and a network about what you would do as a community or as a immediate mutual assistance group if this were to happen in your neighborhood, because there's no reason it could not. This is a nationwide issue, but we're just watching it start and unfold in Colorado first, and that gives us something to work with, but it's still unfortunate for the residents there. Now, Midway USA is the biggest supporter of the channel. Thanks to them, I can make videos like this one, give you this information when I find it pertinent, and at the same time, they have everything you might need when it comes to preparedness, especially dealing with certain threats. So, a big thanks to Midway USA for supporting what we do here. Now, the Tren de Aragua gang is obviously problematic. They're an international criminal organization who's been allowed to flourish here due to lax border policies and everything else that's been happening lately. But the biggest thing that you have to be aware of is the fact that these people are taking over known apartment complexes. The city is trying to ignore the fact that this is happening because it makes them look bad. And the police have no concept of what to do about it. They have no legal authority to do what needs to be done, right? And this is going to happen in other towns and other places. And just so you're aware, Denver, Colorado is a self-proclaimed sanctuary city. Aurora, Colorado, where a lot of this is happening right now, is not. Aurora, Colorado did not sign up for this, but Denver sure did, and then allowed these people to just disperse into whatever direction they found fit. They decided to head towards Aurora, apparently, and now that city is dealing with this really difficult situation where you have gangs taking over buildings. The property management has no access to the building. Anyone who worked on the property left because it's too dangerous. All the tenants who weren't involved with the criminal activity have left, right? And now the gang is the ones who are collecting rent. And then if anyone leaves because they're scared, they fill that apartment with other gang members or other family members, and then they collect rent from those people too. The landlord's not getting paid, and the people aren't able to live peacefully. So this is all happening now while the lights are still on. This is all happening now while we still have internet, right? While the SHTF hasn't occurred yet. And there's nothing we can do about it, apparently, according to the authorities anyway. And so this is just something you should be aware of and be prepared for to happen in your area. What will you do if a gang that is going to wreak havoc on your community sets up shop in a apartment complex down the street? The police aren't going to be able to go in there and clear it. That's not how this works, right? Their hands are tied from red tape, bureaucracy, and of course there's people who want these things to happen. This is the plan. They want destabilization. They want criminal organizations that they can probably work with in the future, and they don't really care what happens to you in the process. And so you need to have this as part of your preparedness planning in the sense of how am I and my mutual assistance group or my local community or my network going to deal with this type of a scenario when it happens here? And don't talk about if, talk about when, because it's just a matter of time if things keep going in the direction they're currently going in. And just because you live in a red state or a rural environment doesn't insulate you from this. These people are already where you are, you just don't know it yet. You haven't figured it out yet, and people haven't told you about it yet because they're not being as overt as the ones who are in Aurora, Colorado right now. And like I said, even the city there and some parts of the media are trying to ignore it and pretend like it's not really a big deal. But we have videos coming out of that area which completely say otherwise. So listen, I'm bringing this up to you because I just really think this is important stuff. Nuclear war and everything else is extremely concerning. And look, I'm still preparing for some of these big major events to occur. But if what happens to us is the proverbial frog in the boiling pot scenario where we just slowly decline into a worse and worse environment, these are the real threats that we're going to have to face as a community, as neighbors. And that's where a lot of the gear and all of the training and the skills come into play. And that's what you need to really be thinking about because, like I said, the police cannot do it. Not only because they don't have the legal authority to at this point in time, which, by the way, other countries have figured out over the years that one of the only ways to deal with this type of stuff is with, I think, maybe this is where the terminology of death squad came into play, right? Different video for a different time. But you understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? The police can't do anything about it. And even if they could, even if they had the legal authority, how many of them are there? And are they actually capable of dealing with that threat? Do you know how difficult it would be for a 10 or 12 man team to go into an apartment complex that's filled with gangsters who are well armed and violent and willing to fight? To do anything, it would probably not turn out very well. So I don't know if at some point your community is going to have to deputize people or who knows what else, but this is happening now with the lights on. While things are still proverbially good, right? Like we're not an SHTF yet. I mean, we are in some ways, but like I can still place an order on Amazon, right? Like I'm not talking about things being straight up on fire right this second, but I am saying that this is a real threat that you will face no matter where you're at. It'll happen at some point. And these people are extremely dangerous. They will kidnap children. They will traffic drugs all over your community. They will have a monopoly of violence. And I just don't find that acceptable. This is happening to these people right now in Aurora, Colorado. This is your example. This is what it actually will look like. You need to be mentally prepared for that. I don't know what else to say. I've been banging this drum for quite a while now. And we can talk about, and we will talk about, all the stuff happening in the Middle East. We'll talk about Eastern Europe. We'll talk about all those existential threats, you know, especially China and who knows what else they're trying to do these days. But this one is the one that's here now at home doing things to people right now. I don't know how else to bring that to people's attention. So I just figured, well, one thing I do is I make videos, you know? So here it is, me making a video to try to remind people about this. And I hear it all the time with the cope on the internet that, well, I live on a farm, you know, 30 miles away from the nearest grocery store and this or this and that. Oh, so you live in the place that's the easiest for them to get away with criminal activity. Got it. Just making sure we're on the same page. Oh, you live in the place where it's the easiest for them to set up a forward operating base or a meth lab or whatever operational facility they want because nobody's going to come knocking. And then if something ever does happen, I know the cops aren't going to make it to your house for what, 45 minutes or so? And even then it's going to be what, a single deputy, maybe two? Like this is what I need you to be considering right now. It's really happening, like now, right now.